look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, man, I got something kind of tragic to tell you, man. I always talk about how certain women, modern women, black women in particular, will go to the ends of the earth for their pookie, for their ray-ray, for their nook-nook. I also say they would do things like take charges, different type of charges for their men. But what you're about to see right now is a story that's so horrible in this reaction video. You're about to see a lady who set her own youngster on fire for her pookie. So let me go ahead and get into this. It's a true story that happened in H-Town, by here by Houston. Get ready, because here it comes.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. 40-year-old LaToya Harris and her boyfriend, 41-year-old Terrence Washington, are both behind bars in Louisiana tonight. They're likely on a path straight to hell, and you will agree. This is after Harris's 15-year-old daughter was severely abused by the couple at their home in Terrebonne Parish, just outside of New Orleans. How bad was the abuse? Investigators say Washington shot the teen on 2 different occasions with a shotgun, one time in the chest. Police say he also raped her, and in order to cover that crime up, the teen's mother set her on fire, blaming her. And
did you hear that? I ain't gonna stop it too many times, but I want you to understand what you just heard. She got a man that ain't about nothing, a lower functioning trifle, pookie, ray, nook, who ain't about nothing. This man shot this child twice. I'm gonna let him tell the story. She's still alive, by God's grace. Then he committed statutory rape on that child. And she didn't care or love that child enough to try to protect that child. What did she do? She tried to cover up the heinous acts of Pookie, Ray, and Nook by trying to destroy the evidence by setting her youngster on fire. Let's keep going. I ain't gonna be able to stop it too many times.
Abused by the couple at their home in Terrebonne Parish, just outside of New Orleans. How bad was the abuse? Investigators say Washington shot the teen on 2 different occasions with a shotgun, one time in the chest. Police say he also raped her, and in order to cover that crime up, the teen's mother set her on fire, blaming her, and also never getting her a treatment for the gunshot wounds. The damage was so bad, the teenager lost half of her face and one of her eyes. She remains hospitalized after all of this was uncovered during a car accident in Baytown, nearly 300 miles from their home in Thibodaux, Louisiana. And joining us on The Factor Uncensored tonight, we have with us Ashlyn Brothers, who is a reporter for Fox 8 in New Orleans, WBUE-TV. Ashlyn, thank you for joining us. Such a tragic situation that we have here with this 15-year-old who is from Louisiana and, of course, got into an accident here. And that's why investigators found out that she was in distress and abused. But take us to the beginning. How did we get here?
Yeah, so, initially what police say is that this had been going on for months, right? The alleged abuse, the buried abuse, if you will, had been going on dating back to around February, what we call carnival season, when police say that there was distress within the household.
And
right?
Of course, we're talking about her mother and her mother's boyfriend.
Yes. So she lived in a home with them. And from what I've been told by relatives, she had moved in about a year and a half before these incidents. So she hadn't been living there for too long. But what we've been told by police is that that's when, things started to go awry. That's when police say that the boyfriend.
Look at the face, man. Look at 2 of those faces. Those are the faces of evil, man. All you gentlemen out here who have children, man, check on your children, man. If you got a baby mama, man, keep your eyes on that baby mama, man, especially when there's a man in her life, man, because that's what went on. You know what I mean? It's sad, man. Keep going.
And things started to go awry. That's when police say that the boyfriend admitted to sexually abusing the girl on numerous accounts, right? And then at that point, police say that the mother then burned the girl, and the police say that this was something that she was doing as a sort of cover up for what had happened. Police also say that the mother blamed the 15-year-old for the incidents that had occurred. It wasn't until the shooting incident where police say that the boyfriend shot the 15-year-old on 2 different occasions that then they took off for Texas.
That is incredible. So the mother burned the girl, according to police, in order to cover up her being sexually assaulted by her boyfriend, according to investigators, right?
That is, to my understanding, I would have to check back with that, but yes, that to my understanding, that's what police say.
Do we know who the 15-year-old was living with before she went back to the home with her mother and her mother's boyfriend? Who was she living with then?
So here at my station, we've been very delicate with how we've been phrasing this, and we have spoken with the relatives who she was living with before. We have decided to call them relatives, very close family members. Yeah.
And they're the couple that you guys interviewed and said, the communications was fine, and then it became few and far in between from calls to text messages, and then she just disappeared.
Yeah, and what these family members say is when they started cutting off communication, or rather when the teen stopped being as responsive, they say after revisiting with this teen once she was in the hospital, they say she was terrified, that she was scared, alleging that the 2 who are accused of these heinous crimes were sort of feeding her false information about what might happen if she were to come forward.
Wow. And so they left Louisiana and came to Texas in fear that he would be arrested for harming her. And then they got into an accident here in Texas in an area we call Baytown, just outside of Houston, where then investigators, CPS Child Protective Services, saw the girl and notified other family members and said, you need to, and the hospital saying, you need to prepare yourself. Just how bad was this child, Ashlyn, as far as the abuse and the injuries that she sustained? I believe she lost an eye, right, as well?
Yeah, so they had to remove an eye. So they're working to try and get a prosthetic for her. Several face injuries. From the pictures that I saw, we didn't share on air just because they're that graphic. Half of her face is burned off. There's no skin. Police say that she had suffered a gunshot wound to her chest and to her face. So there's that as well. And then, they say that the mother had refused to take the daughter to treatment at a hospital, but treated the burns. However, police say that they did not treat the gunshot wounds. So you can imagine what state she was in, having not received any sort of treatment for those.
And we're talking about a 15-year-old girl. That is a nightmare to go through that, to endure something like that at such a young age, and at the hands, allegedly, according to investigators, at the hands of your mother, and she allowed someone to abuse you. It's just mind-blowing. Ashlyn Brothers from Fox 8, WPUE, great job in reporting this story. Such a tragedy. But thank you for sharing it with us. We need to make people aware that things like this still exist, where a mother could allegedly sacrifice their child for a boyfriend.
And that is exactly what she did. She sacrificed her child for her boyfriend. That's what she did, man. A lot of these children grow up in homes with mothers who are just like that. There's a lot of mothers out here that know what their boyfriends are doing to their daughters, and they're not going to try to stop it. Like I said in the beginning of this video, she blamed that child for what Pookie was doing to the child. And then she loved the man so much that she was willing to set her youngster on fire. And he done shot her, pumped her full of lead, hit her in the chest, hit her in the face, but they wasn't going to treat that. So, I guess with buckshot, like, I don't know how it didn't take a whole head off. I don't know what from my understanding, it's a shotgun, so I don't know what he did, because I got slugs and I got buckshot in my Remington in here. And I know if I put a slug, pop that thing, they're going to leave a hole about the size of a basketball if you go the exit wound. I know that buckshot, it spreads. So I don't know how that, I think only by the grace of God, she alive with that. But then he was throwing his body on top of her, having relations. And then she set the youngster on fire to burn up the evidence. And then you try to flee with your Pookie from Louisiana to a Baytown. Now, Baytown is on the outskirts of Houston. Like, ain't that far from Houston. So that's why I said it happened in Houston a little bit. Because I can literally get there by going H-Town right now. It's not that hard to get to Baytown. You know what I mean? So y'all may not know what Baytown is, but it's on the outskirts of Houston. Like my P.O. box I put on my screen said Richmond, Texas. That's on the outskirts of H-Town. You know what I mean? Because I know it's going to be some crazy people. If you give your real address, they probably come up and want to knock on your door, ring your doorbell, say, hey, I got some ideas for a video, Jay. And I'm no. So I understand it, man. But I just want to get back to that. It's just a sad, tragic thing, man. Y'all better protect y'all children, gentlemen. Protect your kids, man. You can't trust your kids sometimes around, your baby mama if y'all separate, man. Ain't no telling why she was doing that to that kid. Maybe she was still mad at that man. He moved on, and that child kept reminding her of him and said, forget it. Ain't no telling what was going on. It just ain't no telling. It ain't no telling at all, y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to put that out there. You know what I mean? What else gonna tell you? I think that's it. Anyway, then y'all have a good one, man. Y'all be safe out there. Y'all take it easy. Peace.